Everybody, will start in just a minute. It is the disembodied voice of Doc Eeyore. Can you hear me, Chris? Okay, yeah. We're just waiting for, did Rachel come back? Rachel, if you raise your hand, oh, there you are. But actually, if you go to reactions and raise your hand, I'll be able to find you more easily.
Sure.
And I'll just do my brief little introductory spiel, and then I will switch it to you. Awesome, thank you. Well, welcome everybody to Friday Night Comics at SAW. I'm the poor substitute for Tom tonight. Your off-camera guest host Michael, volunteer at SAW. And we're gonna go through our little quick introduction. Bear with me. Come on, go into slideshow PowerPoint. There we are. Hey, it's We Believe in Comics Friday Night Workshops at the Sequential Artists Workshop. SAW is a 501c3 nonprofit with online courses. It's a brick and mortar school, it's a virtual school, and it's a community. Now some of this is a little outdated, but Tom didn't give me an update, so but coming up in June, we have one of our big programs, a 6-month graphic novel intensive. Go to the website, check that out. Susan Marks has been through it. I've been through it. A bunch of you have been through it. It's a great way to get started if you have a big project. That's coming up in June. Check that out. We've got ongoing groups like Georgia Weber with Drawing Health, JD Lunt with Sustainable Diary Comics, Josh Bayer's ongoing monthly comics class, and our Comics Flow and Publish group, and Graphic, Memoir, and Medicine. SAW survives from tuitions and donations from people like you. So if you donated to tonight's program, thank you very much. Check it out. Every dollar helps us do the wonderful things that we do. Consider becoming a SAW sustaining member. And here are some of the things, and last time Tom went through this quickly, so I'll go through it quickly, but we do a lot of things with the community, supporting artists. Consider donating and becoming a sustaining member. Hey, also share what you do tonight on social media. Use the hashtag Friday Night Comics at Comic Workshop, and join us for free anytime at the SAW sharing site, members.sawcomics.org. Please, no inappropriate speech or images, no trolling or hate speech or explicit speech. We have children sometimes joining us as families. Keep it PG-13. Enjoy. Tonight, we're doing Lettering Altered States with Rachel Lindsay. And Rachel, I will pass it to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael, and thanks to Tom and everybody at SAW for asking me to do this tonight. I just recently took a class with SAW, and I actually see one of my classmates here tonight. Hi. And it was such a great experience, and everything I know about what SAW does is so great. And such a nice community. I mean, hence everybody who's here tonight. So it's cool to be a part of that. And thank you for spending some of your Friday evening with me and embarking on this journey for a weird idea of a workshop that I had, Lettering Altered States. So I get it to play there. Okay, so I am Rachel Lindsay. I am based in Burlington, Vermont. I have been doing comics for my whole life, like many of you, I'm sure. And most of them are just about myself and my life, or hyperbolic versions of my life. And here's just some little drawings of myself that I've done over the course of many years. That one in the top left corner is a panel from my strip that ran in my high school paper. And that was just about, it was called Thoughts On, and it was just about my life, high school experience, stuff like that. And then when I moved to Vermont, I started doing a weekly called Rachel Lives Here Now. That started out as a web comic, and then it was in the paper for a couple years. 7 Days is the name of the paper. And it was, again, just kind of like a slice of life comic about my time as a transplant to Vermont, and all the joys and sometimes sorrows that living here affords. And it was just a half-page space that I got to do whatever I wanted with, and it was pretty cool. But then the other thing that people might know me from is I put out a memoir in 2018 called RX. And RX is about, I have bipolar disorder, and when I graduated from college, I had to take a job that had health insurance because it was before Obamacare. And I ended up working for an advertising agency and getting promoted onto the Pfizer account, and was advertising antidepressants as someone who secretly had this diagnosis. And so, you know, the dual consciousness of that situation started to get to me, and I ended up becoming manic. And when I decided to quit my job to become an artist, my parents involuntarily hospitalized me. So it's about the healthcare system. It's about having a mental illness as a young person. It's about psychopharmaceutical advertising, and it's about the scenario of involuntary psychiatric hospitalization. So when Tom asked me to do this, he did mention, you know, do you want to do something about mental illness? Do you want to do something about mental health comics? And I didn't. So I started to think about all the things that I really love about comics and visual narrative, and, you know, the things that I would kind of want to explore a little bit with a group of people. And I started to think about lettering, and I really love lettering. I think that this is one of the non-translatable aspects of comics that just, you know, it's a part of the cartoonist toolkit that doesn't apply to any other, you know, it just can't be replicated. It's such a unique, it's a unique thing that we get to play with as cartoonists. And so I went back to Tom and said, I want to do something about lettering. He said, what's the angle? And so I started to think about, you know, what's the scenario that would be most fertile for manipulating lettering and making lettering be really alive and exciting. And I came up with this idea of using the idea of altered states of consciousness, and seeing how lettering could capture an altered state of consciousness, and just by manipulating the line and manipulating the format of those letters. And so this is Dan Clowes. This is from a book called Lexicon of Kamakana by Mort Walker that I really like. It's a very funny instructional book that doesn't take itself very seriously, and I do love it. Lexicon of Kamakana. And this is just like the inside pages of the complete 8-ball, but you can see Dan Clowes is pretty damn good at lettering. So let's just ground everything in a definition, right? Because that's what people like to do when they get started with something. So an altered state of consciousness is a change in one's normal mental state as a result of trauma or accident, or induced through meditation, drugs, or some foods. And this on the left there is a panel from Ken Doll's Monsters. And in this panel, the character is drunk. So you can see, you know, in the word balloons there, the way that the text is kind of garbled and things are spelled wrong and it's kind of falling all over the place. And then even the line around the speech bubble there is kind of beveled, and it doesn't have that same concrete feel that just a regular straight, flat line would have, if you will. So the first thing that I wanted to do is just crowdsource a list of altered states of consciousness. And I have one that a friend requested that I do. And thanks for dropping that in the chat, the lexicon of Kamakana. Lettering advice for people with terrible handwriting. I say you have an edge, especially this evening. Okay, yes, and yeah, meds, I think that could be it's a whole other workshop, and maybe I'll figure out how to do that. Okay, so does anybody have any ideas for altered states that we could, okay, illness, okay. Oh my gosh. I spelled that wrong. Okay, physical pain. Love, okay, anxiety. Okay, sleep, well, maybe we'll say sleeplessness. Okay, being stoned. Let's see, rumination. Okay. Okay, this is great. Yes, mania. Yes. Okay, this is great. Shock. Let's see. Paranoia. Okay. Yeah, jet lag, that's a good one. Okay, this is a good list. And let's see here. Yeah, and I'm going to add per a request from my friend giving birth. So I'm going to throw that out there. Okay, so I spelled this wrong. All right. Wow, this is a great list. And yes, dreams is one we should definitely add. All right, so I'm going to make this big again. All right, so hopefully can everyone see that okay? Like the list is legible?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now what we're going to do is pick, let's say, 3 of these different altered states. And I want you to just write the words in lettering that helps to communicate that altered state. So think a lot about line. Think about, what could extend off of that line, even what could be inside that line. What is the energy of this altered state? And, how are you going to put that across in through just simply drawing letters? So this is like our warm up. And I'm going to play some music because I think wait a minute. No, I can still share this and play, right? Yeah. Okay. I don't know how to do it. Okay.
So Rachel, we're just sort of free
Yes.
drawing warm up.
This is just a drawing exercise, and then we're going to make actual comics. But am I making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So choose 3 of them. I'm going to put on the music, and then I'm going to go back to the slideshow so everybody has the list. And then let's see, in like 5 minutes, 7 minutes, we'll check back in because I want people to really think about it. Okay, so that's what we'll do. And yes, go time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this, Rachel, just to put this in the chat. I'm not hearing the music.
I'm not hearing any music either.
Rachel, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the music's not working. It's coming out
Is
distorted.
it's not working?
Yeah, but we don't need it. I think just how would we phrase this warm-up exercise in the chat?
Oh, okay.
Pick three states from the
Yeah,
list. Question
choose
lettering.
three. Yeah, choose three and then just visualize them in an expressive way. So like here's some examples. Here's some examples. Yes, you can definitely use drunk. But yeah, so it's just you're using you're thinking about the altered state and then how you can reflect that in the way that you write the word. So if you're writing stoned, for example, what would those letters look like if you were trying to make the letters in stoned look stoned? If that makes sense. And if you were writing anxiety, how would you write the letters in anxiety to make anxiety look anxious?
No worries, Nikki. We're not going to do music. How are we doing on time, Rachel? Do we have
I would say like 3 more minutes. I don't know, 5 more minutes. Is that too much?
No, that's fine. Just to help people pace themselves.
Yeah, I think 5 minutes is good.
Okay.
Okay, let's do like 2 more minutes. Okay, all right, let's call it. All right. Where are we? Okay. So I would love to see what people did. Just out of curiosity. I'd like to see, like, up against one another, how people's letters, you know, if everybody, a group of people that chose anxiety, what all of the anxiety drawings look like, would be very interesting to me. But I'll show you what mine look like, and I think it's pretty basic. But anxiety just looks a little bit stressed out, and drunk looks, you know, like they're pretty wobbly and drunk. And then I couldn't finish disassociating, which as a professional, I should probably be able to space my word letters appropriately, but not tonight, I guess. So that's just sort of like entering another realm. But anyway, just my best shot. Does anybody want to share theirs?
Well, do we want to do a big share now or at the end?
I
Or
think it
maybe
would be
just
cool to
people
share.
Hold up.
Yeah, everybody just hold theirs up. I want to see. I'm going to make this so I can see the whole grid. Yes. That's so cool. I hope that people can. Yes, nice. Yeah, I see that shock there. That's pretty cool. I like that. Brain fog, yes. Yeah, physical pain, wow. Yeah, sleepless. I like how you put the eyeballs, the bloodshot eyeballs in there. Oh, and look at that. That's great. These are also great. I hope everybody can take a peek at everybody else's too. Ooh, yeah, paranoia, classic. Yeah, these, yes, giving birth. I'm so glad that somebody chose that one. I'm gonna have to report back to my friend. Looks great. Cool. Yes, manic. I see it. Great. This is also great. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I won't get too carried away with the sharing stuff before we begin actual comic making. Okay. So, I mean, from here, it's basically a simple exercise of just making a comic that's focused around of the altered states that we discussed. And I also want to introduce the idea of having an allergic reaction to something. That was another thing that someone told me would be a good one for tonight. So I want everybody to make a 6 to 8 panel comic that is about being in one of those altered states of consciousness. But the catch is that 2 of those panels can only have lettering. So find out some way to integrate the text into the comic so that it's just the star of the show in 2 of the panels. And I just wanted to show this one example of, let's see, which this is Ron Rege Jr. And I don't know that this is necessarily, supposed to be an altered state of consciousness. I mean, it feels pretty psychedelic to me, but I always think of his work because of the way that he integrates text into the images. And I think it's very cool and unique. And here you can see how the lettering is as much a star of the show as anything else. So, when you're going through this process, just keep that top of mind. We have so many tools to work with, but in this one in particular, you're thinking about how to make these letters be expressive and how to make them part of the narrative in a way that is, they're taking up 2 entire panels. So I am going to work on mine and you can work on yours. And I guess we have a good amount of time. So let's just take the next 10, 15 minutes and then we'll all share. And thank you for putting those resources into the chat. That was great.
So I'm just gonna paraphrase this in the chat.
Yeah.
Saying 6 to 8 panels.
Mm-hmm. And then that's based
about an altered state with 2 panels all text.
Yes. Thank you.
You do 6, you have like maybe 2.5 minutes a panel.
Yeah, thank you. That's helpful. So I guess about 5 more minutes.
we want to start inviting people to share?
Sure. I mean, I'm still working on mine, so I'm sure people are still working on theirs, but if somebody is ready, absolutely.
So if anybody's ready to share, just raise your hand or keep working.
Looks like Nikki has raised her.
Nikki, I think I need you to turn your camera on so I can share you. All right, we'll go back to Nikki. Carol. We'll go back to you, Nikki, next, okay? We're gonna
Yes,
look at
thank you.
Pick your name tag, please. Yes, hello. I like this. Clever. Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Thank you.
Very cool, Carol. All right, now we'll go back to Nikki.
Right here, I've done mine on sleeplessness. I'm always amazed the random stuff that comes out of your head when you're doing these Friday night workshops. So 1 a.m., bang! What was that? Oh, oh, oh.
Wow.
So tired.
I love that. I love all the color. I love the way that you've put that. What did you use in the background there? Is that some kind of
Okay, this here is let me just grab it. It's pitch charcoal, which is very, very black. And then you just quickly, once you put it on, you just quickly brush it with water and it gives this nice dark.
Yeah,
and this color is gouache.
Yeah,
So,
that makes a nice impact. I like that a lot. And I like the narration. Thank you. That's cool.
Thank you very much. That was awesome.
Thank you, Nikki. How about Adam?
Thank you. For whatever reason, it just kind of got me in a state of gardening stuff. So I was just going to show some of that.
Nice.
Just maybe surrounded like in a window frame or something. And now it just kind of goes into a mantra at times. And
yeah,
you're just out there. So
I like the way that you did the grow letters too. That's really neat.
No, thanks. It just kind of came on like, well, you know, the plants are talking and everything's kind of grow. So
yeah, these are awesome. Yeah, great, beautiful.
Thank you.
I see Ange Cruz, but I'll wait for your camera to go. We'll go to Walter. Oh, no, there's your camera. Hi.
Hi. Ooh, let me unmute myself. I kind of went on a mental health kind of thing. So it's like me forgetting to take my antidepressants, which is a very bad habit I've developed. The first slide is like I forgot to take them again while I'm at work. Things hitting my brain because that's how it feels. Very sharp pain. And then my big yellow glasses looking at there's this scene in BoJack Horseman I really love where he describes the depression feeling to like black tar. So I tried making like depression with that kind of slimy effect.
Cool.
And I don't really know if you can see it here, but that's me finally taking my depressants, and the pills say like, please fix me. Yeah.
That's great. I can identify with that. And I really like the color as well. That was great.
Thank you, Ange. And our good friend Walter. Hi, Walter.
Okay, this is pencil, so I'll do it sort of a panel at a time, 6 panels. So the first panel is the first text panel, which is just a airport announcement, very clear. people getting on, plane flying, people getting off. I gave the main character a hat so you could find him. At an international conference that's about to begin, and this is what he hears because of jet lag.
Womp womp. Yeah.
Wah, wah. So,
Yeah,
was
I like that. That's great.
Thank you, Walter. Jackie. Hi, Jackie.
So this is homage to my early 1990s drug problem, anxiety. There's me being anxious, looking at some pills, taking the pills. It's me in a state of I'm drooling, because some of them would do that, and thick, because I just remember it made me feel really thick.
Yeah. No, I think that's great. I mean, you're really communicating a lot between the anxiety and the thick. I definitely am feeling those very strongly. It's nice work.
Thank you,
Thank
Jackie.
you. Thank you.
Ampy-Doo. Hi.
First time caller. It's pencil. So let's see. This reads, Gabby loves the swings because her blood rushes to her head. There she is.
Whoa, cool.
There she is. And then it says, oh, no, fun.
I love that. That's great. That last panel gets me. I love it.
This one. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really like the second one on the second tier there with her swinging all around. That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. I see my. Hi.
Oh, there we go. Okay. So I just had a lot of fun like with the lettering. And I chose like kind of being in love or having a crush and then getting destroyed by that crush. So it starts with, I think you're cute. You give me butterflies. My heart is pounding. I tried to make some of the letters into butterflies and then worms. Or not worms, caterpillars. I'm sorry. And then in your dreams, and then I'm shattered. That's all I got to.
Nice. I love how diverse all of those are. I feel like you nailed it. Those are all working great.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michaela. I see Kate. Hi, Kate.
Hello. Okay, so this is being awake in the middle of the night, and then kind of the way the thoughts come in. Why did blah, blah, blah? When I said, you know, she might, did I remember to, you know, just all the kind of worries and thoughts. And then in this one, it says, all my thoughts seem to run together and race around and pile up and won't stop. And it feels so real and insurmountable, but then somehow, and then the next morning, none of it matters. Just sort of that unreality space that you get into in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. I think that works so well with just having it fill up the panel. I feel like you're really capturing that moment pretty well.
Thank you.
Nice, Kate. We have Renee and Holy Diode. If you could turn the cameras on. And Catherine McGuire. There we are. Hi.
Sorry, I left my blur on. Oh wait. Oh. Okay.
Well, I think we have an echo.
I do.
Or maybe it was coming from somewhere else, but we always see is a curtain.
Um,
Oh, there we go.
so, I can't really see it. But anyway, it's somebody who's having a panic attack, and the brother comes in the room and asks us what's wrong, and then she says, I don't need to go into the hospital. All I need to do is breathe. And then he basically says, and then I skipped a part, but a car accident, anxiety, panic attacks. Then he says, I'm so glad you're on top of your mental health. And like you were in the car when it happened, so it's harder on you. And then he says, do you want a hug? And she says, yeah, sure, brother.
Oh, that's such a sweet story. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I think that you captured things pretty well there. It's awesome.
Yeah, I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. Chloe Diode. Hi. Wow.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot of intensity there.
The paranoia one, a lot of fun. Physical paranoia.
Oh yeah, nice. That's really
Nice.
cool.
And then this was the comic. This is just the concept of like how that paranoia can kind of creep into your thoughts. Creep into your thoughts. Give the impression of being much. So, like something, you know, somehow it's the building, it's the people inside. It's just like this idea of being surveilled and how it kind of takes over your head and makes everything's like this.
Yeah, I can't hear you too well, but that looks great. And the way that you've put all the different layering that you've done on those last two panels with the letters and the words there, that's very powerful. I really like that. Super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a great exercise. Thank you.
Beautiful. Catherine McGuire, you turn your camera on. I can. Oh, are you in two places at once?
Well, yeah, that's because my laptop's camera doesn't record me.
Okay. Did I spotlight the right Catherine McGuire?
So
There we are.
one night while dreaming, I suddenly awoke in shock because it felt like I was giving birth.
Oh.
Alas, I was merely stoned trying to ward off jet lag.
Awesome. That's really great.
Hello?
Can you show giving birth again? I want to see. Ah, cool.
Yeah, in the middle of the.
It's a baby. I see.
He is. He was up briefly. And I think
Neat.
he's back now.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for sharing that. Judith?
Quiet room.
How we, by the way, how are we doing on time? Are you good on time? Do we have time to, we have quite a few.
Oh,
hands.
I'm definitely fine to keep sharing. This is great.
Fantastic. Hi, Judith.
Okay, so I managed to do 8 panels, which is not so.
Is everything okay?
Starts by saying, what is it?
Well, you can try between 3.
Everyday thoughts when you first, I'm actually an insomniac. I never.
Okay. Or you know, if you want to talk later tonight, that's fine too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Judith, I accidentally muted you. I thought I was hearing background noises. Could you?
Someone else is speaking.
Yeah, he is. It's all good. He was up.
Is someone else speaking where you are, or is that coming from somewhere else?
No, it's not here.
All right, I have to find.
I think it's Jackie, if you can mute her.
I'm looking for Jackie.
Oh.
Okay. anyway, I drew upon the dreamy part. I made it be dreamy. So it's everyday thoughts. I started to say I am an insomniac. It's actually 3 a.m. here and I'm wide awake. That's the way
Thank you for joining us.
Eventually, everyday thoughts give way to dreams, which is the way I did dreams in the first thing. And then I said, in a dream, I am kissing. And actually, I had a dream a few weeks ago where I was kissing somebody and it was really nice. And then I have a recurrent place that I dream about, a country commune where I used to live. I just dream about that, or walking up and down a hill, or eating, and then, or crying. And something happened the other day. I was really upset and I was crying, like, they use the expression ugly crying. And I ended up taking a picture of myself, which came in handy tonight. I'm really happy about that. And then too many thoughts keeping me awake. So it's very challenging to rush to do something in such a short time. But
oh my gosh, yeah, I know. This was I wish that we had more time. I'm very impressed by everyone who was able to pull it off, but that looks great.
The whole thing about, like, you just say one word and it opens up this whole whatever. It's really exciting. Thank you.
Yeah, cool.
Good job. I see our pal Chris.
Yeah, as Judith said, I was kind of shocked I could come up with anything, but this is there's a test tomorrow. It's 8 a.m. And so this guy has anxiety about taking a test, but all read, time for bed. So he conquered the anxiety by studying really hard. And then he just cannot sleep all night long. He's sleepless. And then so 8 a.m. all ready for the test.
I love the way that you extended the why. I'm a big fan of that. That's great.
Thanks. This was really interesting. Thanks.
Great. I see Troy. Hi.
Hi. What's going on here? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. This is a story about something that happened to me last summer. And one day I was playing badminton when suddenly, just as I looked up and was about to lob the shuttlecock back to my opponent, everything started spinning. And I fell backwards and into the net and onto the ground. And that was my first ever vertigo attack. Horrible. So that's it.
That's great. Well, yeah, show that last page again. Yeah, it looks like your body is your body like spinny circle? I can't quite see.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I like the way you did that. That's great.
Oh, great. Okay, thank you very much. Fun exercise.
Yeah, good.
I see Susie. Thanks for sharing that.
Okay, so on my way to the doctor's for a regular checkup, I noticed it felt stuffy and rolled down the window, and it's being weird. And then it says, but I still couldn't breathe, and I could hear my heartbeat against my ears. And I still have 15 minutes left, so there's panic.
Yeah, that's great. I love the use of color in that one too.
Yeah,
there's more. Awesome.
Yeah, wait. And then my vision starts fading. And then this is just trying to focus and not lose consciousness by focusing on the car in front of me.
Wow. Wow, is this a true story?
Yeah, thankfully I was able to go to the hospital, but I was severely anemic. So yeah, that was happening in real time. It was scary.
Wow, yeah. Well, I think you represented that really well.
Thank you for sharing. And our friend Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Sorry, Drew. I know, oh, I can't read it. Oh boy. I know when I won't be able to sleep, it's when my pillow feels like a rock. Sometimes I try to meditate, and then I have like all my like scalp and eyes and everything going down my body. It's supposed to make you feel tingly or something, but every time I do it, it ends up just feeling really itchy everywhere. And then my eyes looking at the clock.
Cool. I love the way that you put the text in the pillow and the rock and the body. That's really neat. It works really well.
That was really great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Falky? Hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, nice to be seen. Did I unmute? Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry, I only got a little bit of the color in. So the whole conversation about bipolar brought up terrible memories of the 90s. So it starts with, I didn't have full mania, I had mixed mania. So it starts with me in depression saying, I really hope the meds work. Basically, I can't do this anymore. And then moving into the jitters. And I have no idea why I put spirals on the back of my hands, but they grow. And then we go to jittery and the spirals are flying off of my hands. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. And then I don't know where the bird came from, but I remember thinking I had birds landing on my head. So there's the big squawk, and then mixed mania didn't get fully covered. And then the bird carrying me away.
Wow, yeah, that's definitely very intense. And I feel that from the way that you structured the panels and everything. It's very well done. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. Carolina? Hey there.
Hi, this is a great exercise. So this starts, let's see. So I'm in a team meeting, all is good. And then suddenly the CEO says, Carolina, you're an MD. What's a surfactant agent? And I go, and I'm thinking, oh, it's kind of like salad dressing, but I say nothing. And this is from the, embarrassment. And then my mind goes, the conversation moves on, but my thoughts go, I should know that, but I don't, or at least not well enough to give a definition. Oh no, and it just goes on. And it's just, just ruminating.
Yeah, I like that there's been a couple people that have filled up entire panels with rumination, and I think that that's really interesting and effective. And I also really like the way that you wrote the word embarrassed, and elongated it. I just think that it's different than the way that I would do it. And I don't know, it's just exposing like a different interpretation of that visually, and it's cool.
Feel like I was getting smaller and smaller and smaller and redder. So
thank
you. It's great. Thanks.
Thank you. Aaron?
Hi. So
mute myself. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. Sorry. I thought you said my bad.
So I did mine about brain fog when trying to do taxes, inspired by last year. So you're like sitting down like, all right, it's pretty much the last day, got to do it. And then trying to read the directions and it just starting where it sort of makes sense, but then it just goes gibberish and you feel like you're reading in circles, and then the brain fog. And then my cat's always right here. So he's hanging out right over there, and then just overwhelmed by the brain fog. And what is this even asking? And everything that you feel along with it, like the confusion and frustration. And I can't read that because I wrote it backwards to go with the brain fog. But now I don't remember what it says. And anger. And then I taught my cat to speak with buttons. And so he's over here saying, or thinking, it's asking for your social security number, but I don't have a button for that. And then just also meowing. So
Very cool. I
Brain fog.
really like the lettering that's circling your body. That's super neat.
Thank you. Okay, Alan?
Okay, so I did mine on the computer. Is there any way I could share my screen, or if not, I can try to.
Okay, you can share your screen.
Okay, let me, oops, share screen. I got here really late because I was working, and I came in about, whoops, 4:30 my time, 7:30 your time. So I got off to a really late start and kind of rushed, but and my handwriting is terrible at the best of times, which is why I often do computer lettering, but I tried to get something done. So I'll try to read, at least some of it is computer lettering, so hopefully that part's legible. It says, yeah, my job has me driving to a lot of different places, and often I'm just listening to a podcast as I drive or thinking about something else. And then I tried to get to the two middle panels here to look kind of like a road, and I'm in something of an altered state on autopilot, and I'm not thinking about where I'm going as I drive. And I realized 10 or 15 minutes too late that I made a wrong turn because I was going somewhere I've often gone before instead of where I'm supposed to be going now. Wasn't sure what to draw on the last panel, so I just drew a brain saying, don't worry, I've got this. Wait. Then also drew kind of wording as panel borders too for extra lettering there, but not that it matters. I guess I'll read that says, in case I'm curious, is dun dun dun, driving down the 101 and now I have to, and then it splits as get on the 101 south or get on the 5. No, wait, this is the wrong way. Yeah, made a wrong turn and now I have to find a way to turn around. I have to keep going till I get there more roundabout ways. Use the panel boarding lettering. So
Cool.
really rushed, but I tried to get something done anyway. So
No, nice work knocking that out. That's great. And I really like the lettering as the panel borders. That's smart.
Thank you for sharing that. We have Sarah up next.
Hey, I normally watch the stream on YouTube. I figured I'd interact today. So hope you guys can see. So I wrote a little comic about lucid dreaming for reasons that will soon become apparent. So when I was a teenager, I was very interested in New Age stuff. And one of the things that was my favorite thing to read about was lucid dreaming. And when you're trying to do that, you have to train yourself while you're awake by doing exercises to learn to recognize when you're in a dream. And one of the most important ones of them is doing a reality check. And actually, one of the things that happens when you're dreaming is when you look at text, the text looks distorted or the letters are the wrong way around or things aren't spelled properly. And so that's what made me think of it for this exercise. And so it actually worked. I did learn how to recognize that I was dreaming and lucid dreaming, but that didn't mean that like I could control my dreams. So I'd like be like trying to fly, but it would just like not work.
Yeah, that's great. I like the way that you use the lettering to reflect the state there. That's lucid.
It's truth in television. It's a real state that does that.
I really liked the last panel too. That was funny.
Cool. And we have Ivana and Jennifer. If you could turn your cameras on, we'll go to Jen while you're doing that. Hi, Jen.
Hi, one sec.
So I also did mine on my computer, so I'm going to share my screen. But I sort of did mine based off of these like weird dreams I have, like these stress dreams where I just look at like long hallways with carpets and sometimes like weird animals like giraffes show up. Just all sorts of very weird, like sort of stressful things, but nothing ever actually happens. And I sort of tried to play with like brushes that I don't usually do. And I usually do 8-panel comics, like the foldable ones. And so it might be a little confusing. So I tried to number them. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like the brushes a lot. That's really nice.
Thank you.
And the texturing on the lettering is really unique too. Like that's something special that you can do with digital stuff that that you were able to achieve in this exercise. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. I see Ivana.
Oh, okay, so so we have the first panel Why says, let's go out tonight, and then the other girl's like, oh, the introvert part of me is saying, the next panel's like, my anxiety will spike. And then the third panel's like, okay, well, sure. And then they go dancing, and she says, your moves are awesome. And then she's thinking, oh, these are my anxiety shivers, but let's act cool. And then the other one, the next panel, she like vomits, and it like scares the other girl. And then the girl's like, oh, you okay? And then the girl who vomited is like, yeah, I had too much to drink. And then the last panel says, didn't you just have water? And then she like runs and says, toodles, squishing in vomit.
Oh my God. Yeah, classic lettering for a vomit. I love that. That's great. Very funny.
Thank you.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Jennifer?
Hi. So I did not finish at all. And this is my first workshop, and I've never done a comic before.
Oh,
so
wow.
I was like getting super into trying to do detail, and then as I'm seeing everybody else's, I'm like, oh, okay, you just got to really like put it down. But anyway, this is based on something that happened to me just a couple of days ago. I suffer from something called dysautonomia, and I can be basically just doing a normal activity and suddenly everything kind of goes wonky. So this first panel, you can't see it probably because it's pencil, but anyway, I had pulled into a parking lot and there was some sale going on, and I went in to try on some clothes, and I'm all of a sudden just getting like super hot and breathless. And then this was where I tried to do the lettering kind of dominating the panel, because I realized that I was suddenly not feeling well, and it kind of trails off here, and then it'll go on. But anyway, I wanted to share to also just like get feedback. I don't know if we do that in this process, but
Well, that's great. I think that's beautiful. I couldn't see the lettering too well. If you want to hold it up one more time, yeah. Yeah, I think that's great. I love like the variety that you have all just in one panel and all kind of part of this one sequence of thoughts.
Yeah,
it really brings a lot of energy to that. I like it a lot. It's great.
Yeah, I was trying to convey that it comes on so suddenly. So yeah.
Nice.
Thanks for sharing. Hope you come back. And I see complete stranger Jen Spence, who I've never met before in my life.
I didn't realize I was next. I saw like 3 people in front of me. Hello. Okay, so I attempted the 8 panel and I came up with a simple solution. Okay, so well, we'll just go with it. I sort of wanted to convey ecstasy, but it's more of turned into something else. So it says, Madam, here is your steak and shrooms. And then it goes across the top. You can see the mouth and the
Wow.
and then it starts to go there. And she says, what kind of mushrooms are these? I feel funky.
That's awesome. That looks great. I love the way that you did the extreme close-ups are really neat. And I like the way that you boxed in the eyeball with the lettering. That looks really cool. Yeah, it's just overall, it just comes across really well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It was fun. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jen. Hi, Marlena.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, thank you for having me. And my time is 10 o'clock on a Saturday. So when I joined up, I thought I had time, but obviously you had started ahead of me. But nevertheless, I said I'm going to challenge myself and see what I can come up with. And this is what I've done. So this took me like 10 minutes just to make a contribution. The first part of my narrative is I woke up as the monarch, King George IV of England, with a bottle in hand and a glass of wine, because that's the kind of person he was. I saw a movie about him yesterday and went into a dream. And so I was him, and I became all sweaty and thinking, oh, what's going to happen to me? And then I proceeded to do karaoke all of a sudden. Don't know where that came from. And as you can see, my expression is blank. I've got a few notes in the microphone and going, oh, this is horrible. I need to be present to the words and the beat of the song. And so my next frame shows me, I'm back to myself. I underwent a gender transformation. I'm a woman, but I drew men. And the whole dream woke me up. To my relief, as you can see, my thoughts, my hair went all curly, and I woke up from the dream, thank goodness. It's a bit playful, this one.
Yeah, nice work cranking that out. 10 minutes, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I was feeling like I was running a marathon.
Well, you ran it well.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for sharing that. Now, did I see Falky next? But Falky, didn't you already share? Is Zoom confusing me again? You're muted, but I see Carolina. Can you turn on your camera?
I already went, so I.
Okay, I think because hands are still up. How
Oh, yeah.
about Ray? Ray, did we get to you yet? No, you're up. Hi.
Hey, let's see. So I haven't quite finished yet, but I think I got enough to work with. And by the way, thank you so much. This has been really, really awesome. Let's see. So popular subject, also chose sleeplessness because I deal with that a lot, and especially kind of the rumination part of sleeplessness, where you're thinking about all the stuff that's going on and kind of all the problems that you have during your day and stuff. Anyway, first one here, I'm just gonna lay in bed, the big alarm clock looming over me, and then we're going into some of these kind of thought bubbles with the words in them. So we've got work here, and then kind of the standard work stuff, and then lightly in the background is some of the like social work stuff that you deal with. So things like discrimination and stuff like that, as opposed to this stuff which is in kind of like bold, the meetings, projects, all that kind of thing. And then over here, let's see, we also have sorry, my camera's all shifting around. But basically just saying like a thing you said one time. And so, it's just kind of like occupying the whole, sort of like occupying the whole thought.
Yeah.
And then we have the alarm clock that's kind of, like, sorry, I'm not quite sure what's happening with my camera. But yeah, an alarm clock that's, kind of like distorted and everything, and entering into my space. And then kind of like last but not least is me, if I can get it there, yeah, sort of positioned there with everything that's sort of going on inside. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I really like the distorted alarm clock moment. And I think that the way that you did the bullet list there is that's just like a kind of like a way to a different approach to using an entire panel, like something functional,
Right.
I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.
By the way, I'm just pasting into chat. Somebody asked for a reminder, what are the hashtags if you share your work on social media? I think we got to everybody. So everybody unmute yourselves and thank Rachel for this amazing workshop.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rachel.
Rachel.
Oh, Rachel.
Thank you, Rachel.
Requested your book at the library.
This was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Very fun
Love
to
your
see
book.
everybody sharing.
Really, really well done.
Any last words you want to send us home with, Rachel?
No, I mean, just thank you. And I hope you keep making comics and think about lettering and have fun with it.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
Really
All right.
great.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.